Somewhere along the way, you were taught to care, to feel deeply, to take things personally. That was your first mistake. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every insult that ever broke you came from this one flaw. You let the world touch your inner world. Machiavelli didn't. He watched from a distance, studied people like a surgeon studies disease, not with emotion, but with precision. He understood something the weak never will. If you want peace, you must first destroy your sensitivity. You must train yourself to become immune to love, to hate, to praise, to shame. No one can hurt you when you are emotionally invisible. No one can manipulate you when you feel nothing that they expect. No one can defeat you when your heart is untouchable and your mind is the only God you worship. This isn't about being cold, it's about being free. In this video, we will teach you how to disappear from emotional slavery and rise as your final form, a man no one can affect, a man Machiavelli would fear. You want to become untouchable. You want to live in a way where no betrayal, no insult, no loss can shake you. But first, you must destroy the illusion that keeps you weak, the belief that you matter to others. Most people walk through life with a tragic misunderstanding that if they are good, honest, and loyal, others will treat them the same, that their emotional openness will be met with care. But Machiavelli understood a darker truth. People do not act out of love, they act out of self-interest. Your value to others is conditional. You are only as important as the benefit you provide them, and the moment that benefit disappears, so does their loyalty. This is not cruelty, it is nature, and the moment you accept this, you begin to free yourself from emotional slavery. People suffer because they assume their pain matters to others. They take betrayal personally. They spiral over disrespect. But those actions are rarely about you. They are about what others stand to gain. Machiavelli would remind you, most of what people do to you is not personal, it's strategic. If someone insults you, it's often to elevate themselves. If someone ignores you, it's to make you chase. If someone lies, it's because truth doesn't serve their purpose. And when you react, when you get angry, offended, heartbroken, you give them power. They see your weakness. They know they can reach you. That's how control works. If you want to be immune to manipulation, you must stop giving people that access. Stop taking things personally. Stop expecting fairness. Stop assuming people act from conscience. Start watching. Start calculating. Ask yourself, what does this person gain from treating me this way? What role do I play in their agenda? What shift from emotional to strategic is the beginning of your strength? But to fully become unaffected, you must also eliminate the behaviors that expose you. Stop over-explaining yourself. People don't care about your reasons. They care about results. Stop seeking sympathy. Most people tolerate your pain until they can use it. Stop oversharing your doubts, your wounds, your guilt. They are not truths to be displayed. They are tools others can twist. Machiavelli would say, guard your inner world like a fortress. Say less, show less, be unreadable, because the less they see, the less they can attack. This world does not reward emotional depth. It rewards emotional discipline. Most people are slaves to their feelings. They rise and fall based on someone else's attention, someone else's approval, someone else's rejection. But you must build your worth on something untouchable. When you no longer need validation, when praise doesn't inflate you and criticism doesn't break you, you become something rare, something dangerous. That is the moment you step into true freedom. You are not cold, you are calm, you are not numb, you are clear, and in that clarity you gain the ultimate power, indifference. Indifference is not carelessness, it is control. It is the ability to choose what deserves your reaction. It is the ability to walk away from anything that weakens you. It is the ability to say, you cannot affect me, not anymore. Machiavelli said it is better to be feared than loved. But beyond that, is something greater, to fear nothing and expect nothing from anyone. That is how you become immune. That is how you silence the world. That is how no one and nothing will ever affect you again. If you want to become truly untouchable, you must destroy the second root of vulnerability, your emotions. Most people are ruled by their feelings, so they pretend to be logical. They say they are strong, but one insult breaks them. They say they are confident, but one rejection ruins their sense of self. That is because they are not in control. Their emotions are. Machiavelli understood that a ruler or any powerful person must never be governed by feeling. Emotion is weakness. Emotion is exposure. Emotion is the crack through which your enemies enter. If someone can trigger your anger, they own your reaction. If someone can trigger your sadness, they control your spirit. And if someone can manipulate your guilt, they control your decisions. You are not free if others can provoke a response out of you. To be free, you must become emotionally disciplined, not dead, but deliberate. Use your emotions like tools, not like chains. If charm will serve you, use it. If silence will intimidate, remain quiet. If rage will create fear, then channel it. Never let your emotions use you. Never let them erupt uncontrolled. Never let anyone see what truly affects you, because the moment they do, they will use it against you. This world is not kind to openness. It rewards composure, mystery, and self-mastery. The man who feels everything loudly will always be controlled by those who feel nothing. Learn to sit with discomfort without reacting. Learn to hear insults without defending. Learn to experience pain without confession. Most people look for someone to talk to when they hurt, someone to unload their emotional weight. That's weakness disguised as honesty. You want strength, carry your own pain, fix your own chaos. Sit in silence and rebuild your mind in private. There is no honor in public vulnerability. There is only danger, because the more you reveal, the easier you are to destroy. Machiavelli would tell you to be like a fox among wolves. Know when it's expected, laugh when it's strategic, but trust no one with your inner life. Keep your real emotions locked behind a mask. Let the world see only what is useful for them to see. You don't owe anyone the truth of your feelings, because the truth is most people don't care, and the few who pretend to will use it when it suits them. Stop seeking emotional safety from others. Become your own safety. Stop needing someone to validate your feelings. Validate them yourself. Don't suppress them until the moment they serve you. Self-control is a weapon. The less you react, the more people fear you. The more silent you become, the more powerful you appear. There is strength in unpredictability. When people know how you'll respond, they can prepare. But if you stay unreadable, calm when you should be angry, silent when they expect outrage, smiling when they expect sadness, you win psychological dominance. You become a mystery they can't decode, and in that confusion, they lose their edge. The key is to train yourself. Emotional detachment is not natural. It is built through repetition and self-discipline. Observe your triggers. Who gets to you? What words make you react? What situations make you weak? Now destroy them. Break the pattern. When someone insults you, don't respond. When someone disrespects you, let them talk into a void. When someone leaves you, don't chase. Learn to say nothing. Learn to do nothing. Let your silence scream. Because silence is not weakness, silence is control. Silence makes people wonder. It shifts the power dynamic. The less you say, the more they project. The less you show, the more they fear. Machiavelli said, "A wise man must appear merciful, faithful, humane, but must know how to be the opposite when necessary." That is emotional power, to show what works and hide what's real. Control is everything, and you cannot control the world until you control yourself. If you want to become immune to the world, you must master the environment you live in, and that means understanding people, not as they pretend to be, but as they truly are. Most people walk blind, believing in masks. They trust words. They judge faces. They mistake politeness for loyalty, flattery for respect, and emotions for truth. But Machiavelli knew better. He believed that most people are driven by ambition, fear, greed, or desperation, even when they smile. Even when they compliment you, they are calculating. Everyone you meet has a motive. Every friend, ally, partner, even the ones who seem kind, are guided by self-interest. The mistake weak people make is thinking, he would never do that to me, or she's not like the others. But the moment someone is given power over you, whether emotional, financial, or social, they change, or more accurately, they reveal what was already there. This is why trust is dangerous, not because betrayal is rare, but because betrayal is the rule. If you're shocked when someone turns on you, it means you never really understood them. A Machiavellian mind expects betrayal. It plans for it. It even uses it. You must stop judging people by their words. Start watching their patterns. Don't ask, what is this person saying? Ask, what are they avoiding? Don't ask, do they like me? Ask, what do they want from me? Every smile hides a need. Every praise hides a motive. Once you train your mind to think like this, you stop being disappointed. You stop being blindsided. You stop being naive. This is not about becoming paranoid. It's about becoming perceptive. You need to become the kind of person who listens with silence and watches with distance. Because most of what's real is never said out loud. People reveal themselves in small moments, in the way they talk about others, in how they treat people with no status, in the envy they fail to hide when you succeed. Learn to listen for subtext. Learn to detect emotional leverage. When someone says, I care, ask yourself, what do they gain from caring? When someone says, I'll never leave, ask yourself, what happens when staying becomes inconvenient? This isn't cynicism, it's clarity. The world will try to shame you for thinking this way. They'll call you cold, untrusting, bitter. Let them. They only fear what they cannot fool. A clear mind cannot be manipulated, and that terrifies people who rely on confusion to control others. To be Machiavellian is not to reject human connection. It's to control it, to decide who gets your attention, who gets access, who gets nothing. You do not owe your trust to anyone. It is earned slowly and lost quickly. The traps of silence test their loyalty. Offer nothing you cannot afford to lose. And always remember, the person who knows less loses in every room. No more than you say, and say less than you think. Let others underestimate you. It makes them careless. Let others assume you're weak. It gives you the upper hand. Never show all your cards. Never explain your strategy. Make your life hard to read, and your thoughts even harder to predict. This is how you survive among liars. Users and cowards, you become unreadable. You become untouchable. In Machiavelli's world, the prince who trusts too easily is the first to fall. But the one who watches from the shadows, who plays the game but never reveals his hand, that is the man who outlasts them all. You want peace. Stop trusting appearances. You want power. Start studying motives. You want to be unaffected. Learn to predict betrayal before it happens. The man who sees what's coming is the one who never bleeds, and that man is who you must become. If you want to reach the final stage of being unaffected, you must now address the most dangerous vulnerability of all, emotional dependency. Most people don't even realize how deeply they rely on others for their sense of self. They base their worth on how people see them, how they are treated, how much attention or affection they receive. And when that disappears, they collapse. They panic, they chase, they beg. That is not love. That is addiction. Machiavelli would say, The man who depends on the affection of others will always be their servant. He will betray himself just to keep their approval. He will abandon reason for the sake of attention, and he will surrender his power for the illusion of belonging. You must break this. You must become someone who does not emotionally depend on anyone, not their love, not their time, not their praise. Build yourself in such a way that you would remain the same whether you were surrounded by people or completely alone. Because in this world, you will be alone at times. People will leave, people will change, people will forget you, and when they do, your strength must remain untouched. That strength must come from something internal, something untouchable. You must build an inner world so powerful that nothing outside of you can shake it. That is not easy. It requires radical honesty. You must ask yourself, who am I without validation? Who am I when no one is watching? Most people don't like the answer. That's why they chase distractions, relationships, attention, praise. But Machiavelli would advise the opposite. He would tell you to retreat inward, to make your mind your kingdom, your thoughts your fortress, your standards your compass. When you stop relying on others for meaning, you become free. No one can take something from you that you never gave them power over. This doesn't mean you become a loner or a recluse. It means that your sense of identity is no longer negotiable. You no longer need someone to love you to feel lovable. You no longer need applause to believe you are worthy. You no longer need company to avoid silence. Most people fear silence because it exposes how weak their inner foundation is. They need noise to distract them from their emptiness. But silence is your test. If you can sit alone for hours with your own thoughts, not panicking, not reaching, not collapsing, you are becoming something dangerous. You are becoming solid, unmoved, self-contained. This is the essence of Machiavellian power. To need nothing, to owe nothing, and to feel nothing that can be used against you. Build your discipline, build your routines, build a life so fulfilling that others become a bonus, never a requirement. Stop outsourcing your happiness. Stop depending on someone else to make you feel whole. If someone gives you love, accept it, but never need it. If someone praises you, acknowledge it, but never chase it. The moment you need anything from anyone, you've already lost. The game is over. You're not in control anymore. People can smell desperation. They will use it. They will control you with it. But when you don't need their approval, their affection, or their presence, you become untouchable. You become the one they try to impress. You become the one they chase. Because the one who needs nothing is the one who holds all the power, Machiavelli would say. Always appear to be what others want, but never let them know what you truly need. Better yet, need nothing. Strip yourself of the lies that keep you dependent. Kill the habits that keep you emotionally weak. Learn to walk alone, not because you reject others, but because you no longer collapse without them. This is your power. When your identity is forged in solitude and your peace is built on your own terms, you become immune. They can come and go, love you or hate you, betray you or forget you. It won't matter because you were never theirs to break. Now you understand what it takes, not to just survive, but to become invincible, to walk through this world untouched by its noise. Immune to betrayal, indifferent to praise, and unreadable to everyone who tries to control you. Your building is not just strength, it is sovereignty. You are no longer just a person in the crowd, begging to be seen, chasing validation, fearing rejection. You are now something else, something rare, a silent force, a presence that cannot be manipulated, broken, or moved. And it happened not through violence or arrogance, but through control. Control of your thoughts, control of your reactions, control of your needs. This is in a world where everyone is ruled by emotion. The one who controls himself controls everyone. Machiavelli never wrote for the moral man. He wrote for the man who wants to win. And to win in this world, you cannot play by the rules written for sheep. You must see reality as it is, cold, strategic, brutal. You must stop expecting it to be kind and start using its cruelty as fuel. You don't need to scream. You don't need to threaten. You don't need to explain yourself. The strongest man in the room is the one who says nothing, because he doesn't need to prove anything. He already knows. He already sees. He already owns the outcome in his mind. Let others run wild with emotion. Let them chase status, attention, chaos. You stay still, watch, observe, respond only when it matters. And when you do, make your move final, precise, silent. A king never argues. A king never reacts. A king chooses. A king commands. That's who you become when nothing affects you anymore. And you must understand, being unaffected does not mean you feel nothing. It means you control what deserves your emotion and what deserves your silence. It means your mood is not set by people who don't matter. It means your decisions are not shaped by fear or guilt or desire. It means your peace is not a prize others give you. It's a throne you built yourself. There will be people who try to pull you back into weakness. They'll say you've changed, that you're too distant, too cold, too selfish. Let them speak, let them fall away. Let them choke on the expectations you never agreed to carry. You don't owe anyone your vulnerability. You don't owe anyone your peace. Your life is not a service for the comfort of others. It is a battlefield, and you are now trained for war. Every insult, ignored every betrayal, expected every loss, endured in silence. You are now untouchable because you chose to become so, through discipline, through rejection of emotional slavery, through brutal honesty with yourself. You killed your weakness before the world could use it against you, and that is true freedom. Machiavelli once said that it is better to be feared than loved, but what he really meant was this: it is better to be in control, better to be prepared, better to be immune, because love fades, loyalty breaks, control, that lasts. Control is the root of all power, and now you have it. You are no longer the man who breaks at the first sign of chaos. You are the one who walks straight into it, unaffected, calm, cold, certain. You are not moved by storms. You are the storm. No one and nothing will ever affect you again.